Hello, everyone, and welcome to Popcast on the Rocks, episode un, deux, trois. We're a pop culture podcast that talks about pop culture things, and sometimes there's whiskey. My name is John. I'm joined by Andrea. As always, how's it going?
Good, good. Just, excuse the dusty, sweaty mess that is me over here. Just sliding in after softball. If you
Nice.
caught that
Sliding in.
horrible, horrible softball
Caught
pun.
it. Yeah, you got it. Ah,
Won 2 in a row. I'm on
that's
fire.
solid. Yeah. Well, hey, me too. But I changed my shirt. Otherwise, there would be dust around
Sure.
here. So, yes.
Oh, making me
Bean
look
dust,
bad,
though.
John. Making me
Bean
look bad.
dust.
You did the whole effort and try and change your shirt thing, and I'm just like, you get what you get.
You slid in later than me, so yeah,
Yes,
it's
super true,
mhm,
super true.
yep. Well, tonight's going to be a record short episode, but that
Mhm.
doesn't mean there won't be lots of fun.
Mhm.
Fun to be had. Episode, like I say, 123. We're moving on up there. Later in the episode, we're going to be talking about webtoons. One in particular, maybe meant to be. If you've been
Mhm.
following along, that's one of the two we've been covering, and we're still talking about this one this week. Will be spoilery about it, so be warned there.
Mhm.
Otherwise, before that, we have a whole bunch of spoiler-free content, and before any of that, we got to talk about drink holidays, right?
Yes, yes. There are just a couple this second week of October. We've got on October 2nd, it was National Vodka Day, or as I sometimes like to say, wodka. I don't know why,
Of
but it's
course.
just like makes me feel like a little bit more
Hmm.
fancy, a little bit more fun.
Yeah.
And then we have two very related holidays. On October 7th, it's Barrel Aged Beer Day. Thank goodness I didn't try to say that 10 times fast. And then
Hmm.
on the 9th, today, there's still time to celebrate. It is beer and pizza day. Classic combo.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes. I had pizza a few days ago. I don't know if that counts. Um,
Pizza should be had all days. That's my
sure.
opinion.
Oh man, I don't know. I mean, I guess your digestive system does get used to a lot. Like you can
Well,
really pack on things and then
and like pizza, I feel like is a broad, like you could have dessert pizza, you could have breakfast pizza. Like
mhm,
there's like a
mhm.
broad range of options with pizza,
Flatbread. You
right?
do some sort of like goat cheese and some
Right?
marmalade
You could get
and
fancy with it.
bacon
Yeah.
flatbread. Be a
Doesn't have
little,
to just be like
arugula.
yeah, it doesn't have to be just like pepperoni pizza, you know what I mean? Like we could be
Yeah.
fancy, we could be breakfast, we could be dessert, we could be anything. So,
Hmm.
it's
Hmm.
versatile.
Well, I know you've been softballing it up, but are you capping that with anything to celebrate in terms of
Sadly,
these holidays?
no nightcaps for me, just rehydrating after my game. Being a responsible adult. Blah.
Nice. Yeah, I'm dehydrated when I'm in the field a lot because if I drink
Adjust.
how much I want to, I just have to go to the bathroom all the time.
Right. Right. So you
And
kind of have to
so,
measure it out.
yeah, so I sit there dehydrated. So if I'm all wrinkly and stuff, it's because yeah, I don't have any water.
No,
But
I totally feel that. I mean, it's the same with softball. Like if I chug some water, like I
yeah,
mean, I could be like, out in the outfield waiting for a catch and be like, "Ooh, whoopsie, I kind of have to pee."
yeah, you got to do the hydrate intensely till 2 hours before.
Right, and then cut it
Then you
off.
use the restroom, and then you're
Right.
basically good other than sips for the rest of the night.
Right. It's like model rules. Like you get cut off
Yeah.
even from liquids. Is it like
Yep.
it's like at least an hour or two before a show, right?
I think it's longer than that.
Is it
I
more?
mean, I
Okay.
suppose depends on
Yeah.
the show or the association or something like that.
Yeah.
But I think I remember hearing about the, Victoria's Secret Angels, and that was like
That was a lot.
ungodly long time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think you just like you're like kind of like a football player. You get like little squirt bottles just to get your mouth wet and then
Hmm.
that's what you can have. You don't actually get to like drink it.
That doesn't sound good. No.
No.
No. Well, I'm drinking a beer, so I'm celebrating both the beer well, half of the beer and pizza day. I am sans pizza, but
I said there's
I
still
have a
time.
beer. I know. Actually, there's well, I suppose I could whip up something. Then it would not be the shortest podcast ever, as we follow me to the kitchen and make pizza.
The show's gonna make
But
a left turn.
yeah, but I'm drinking the beer that I showcased last week that I didn't get to.
Yay!
So it is a barrel aged beer.
Yes.
It's the Duchess one. Focus, camera.
Focus.
Not gonna happen, I guess. Oh,
Oh, there it
bam,
is, there it is. Just
bam.
had to cover your face a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this that's the
So
barrel-aged sour. How is that?
I don't know yet.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we're gonna
Oh,
find out.
alright.
So
Sip and share, buddy, because,
yeah.
I was really interested in this one, because 'cause I've just never heard of a barrel-aged sour.
Ooh,
Yeah?
it's good.
Yeah?
It's really good.
What
Um,
kinda notes is it? Like, is it, like, fruity? Is it light? Is it red? You
well,
said
it's
it was a
definitely
red ale?
fruity. Yeah,
Okay.
it reminds me a lot of a cider. So
Okay.
like get a real dry cider,
Mhm.
or even a pretty um, dry red wine.
Sure.
That's really what this is like.
Okay.
So
Yeah, sounds
not
like something I'd
particularly
like.
beer. Yeah, not
Yeah.
particularly beery. The only beer element really is a little bit of foam, some of that carbonation, but the rest is really like a kind of a dry wine or cider sort of thing. So
Okay.
it's
Yeah,
good. I,
that
I'm I
sounds
dig it.
that sounds good to me. Yeah. Sounds like up my
And
alley.
I'm gonna class it up even more because I have a really sweet beer koozie. Or look at that.
Aw,
Look at this guy.
is this truly what the Duchess deserves?
Yeah, of course, Bass
Oh,
eating up
there she
that can.
goes. There she
Yeah.
goes. Oh, poor lady.
So, yes. Salute.
Cheers.
Um, so we've had an episode more recent than usual,
Mhm.
but what have you managed to watch and such in the meantime?
Yeah, just a couple of things. I caught up. I was an episode behind. So I caught up on the Great British Baking Show episodes 3 and 4 from this last week. And yeah, they're oh my god, the Great British Baking Show, like the nicest, sweetest, most wholesome show ever, is undergoing a bit of a controversy right now because they had this last week's theme was Mexican week, and there were some like jokes that were like maybe a little borderline, and there were moments where it was like a lot, like this the stretch into like being Mexican culture, or like the criteria for like this looks like really Mexican to me. The bar was pretty low. There was a stretch, or like one woman, oh god, couldn't say guacamole. So she was like, I'm
Mm.
making this here guacamole. And I was like, oh, that's a lot. Like, oh. So on the one hand, like, oh god, it's like the saddest scandal for the Great British Baking Show to be like dragged into. On the one hand, like I get it, it was a lot at times. Like there were moments when even I was like, "Ooh, guys, like you got to be a little better than that." And then on the other, like, I don't know, it's not as bad as people think.
Mhm.
It's the truth lies somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah,
just
I
couldn't
usually
believe, like,
like
Great British Baking Show was, like, headline scandal for this, and I was like, "Oh, of course it's this."
yeah, I give a lot of leeway or whatever. I think that one thing that can become annoying, I guess. Like I don't have an issue with it so much as it can be annoying. Is I remember meeting um, colleagues, friend, or whatever that is from England, and
Mhm.
then everybody is around the table and had some drinks, and some people cannot resist imitating the accent poorly, so
Yeah.
poorly, and I'm like, okay, the person's got to get this all the time. What are they supposed to do?
Right. What do you do with
They're
that?
not they're done laughing, you know.
Yeah.
It's not funny anymore. No one's doing it to be mean or something like that, you know, but it still is this like obnoxious at a point. Like
Yes.
and I understand the impulse like when someone's around, for me especially southerners, when I'm around southerners and they are speaking a southern accent, I very, very, very much want to imitate their kind
Yeah.
of
It's
dialect.
it's weird. It's like a pull. Like you just you
Hmm.
want to like you just like it's like a desire to shape your words that way. I actually get that way um around some of my German relatives when
Oh yeah.
they're like conversing with me in English and like suddenly I have this weird like desire or like urge or something to imitate their accent. And it's not something
Hmm.
I'm like trying to do or make fun of or like I don't know what it is. Like I don't think I can speak
I
like they
think it's
do,
a
but just like I don't know. It's a, like a weird urge.
I think on its base level,
Oh,
it's
code
a
switching. Yeah.
inherent like, you know, in us to fit in kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's like how you go and then you if you live somewhere, often people quickly pick up the accent or at least
Mhm.
people it. And it's just like you have a desire to belong. So
Mhm.
yeah, this is what Alan posted is interesting too. The code switching as a
Yeah.
term for having a conversation in which you're switching between
Mhm.
dialects or languages, multiple within a conversation.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. Well, I mean, there was a controversy not long ago with DC Comics because it was like Hispanic Heritage Month, and so
Mhm.
they did some special covers or whatever, and they had Green Lantern on them, and he had like a bag of tamales
Yeah.
and floating in spaces, and it was whatever. The
Yeah.
criticism was like this is the only thing you can do to, because
Right.
the sad thing was there was an original cover that looked pretty badass. It was Green Lantern standing there with like a Mexican flag
Mhm.
in space, and it was, I don't know, it was cool. But then I guess that wasn't enough, and they had to add the bag of tamales, you know.
Like
And
that
they've done a number of these things now that
yeah.
I don't know,
That's
but
that's the thing where, like, I feel like that's so legit because you already had something there and it was great.
hmm
And, like, what was the point of the tamales? You know what I mean?
hmm
And that's to be fair, like, some of this, again, I thought was a little bit funny or, like, not particularly, like, meant to be insulting, and then there were some things where, like, the judge was like, "Oh, it's so colorful, so it's obviously Mexican," and I was like, "Ah, that's, not what I think you mean to say, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not the
maybe after
only
all in
thing.
combination, you know, like with the way the show is edited and put together, like you said, it's
Yeah,
just getting to be
like
a lot.
right, like, I hope that there was something else that she maybe said because, like, it did feel like, "Really? Like, that's all that you think makes something Mexican is just,
Mhm.
like, some bright colors?" Like, ugh.
Mhm.
So, yeah, so, like, there's times when you're like, "Ah, let's not, like, try to be so token and, like, try to go
It's
for, like, such, like, obvious, like, or simplistic views of something." Like, it is a
I think
complicated culture
I think it
or a
comes
complex
from
culture.
the whole like being on television and
Yeah.
trying to always like fill air and be that
Yes.
sort of attitude. Like, and
Right.
it just it comes off as fake, you know, it comes off as, you know, pretentious sometimes or just cringe because it's like no one would say this, no one would think this, whatever it is, you know. And
Yes.
that's kind of the nature of like live television and things, or, you know.
Absolutely. You can tell sometimes when people are like trying to make a funny comment and you're like, that was trying real hard."
Mhm.
And like
Yep.
most of the time you can let it pass though, and sometimes you're like,
Yeah.
whoops, like that was not a great one.
I would say though that people are I mean, not news, but people are always searching for a controversy if this is
Right.
the
Right. And
big
like that's why I was like, I
kerfuffle.
think right, like the truth lies somewhere in the middle. Like as a viewer, was I like bothered by everything that people pointed out was problematic? No, I was not. Now, am I um do I claim to be part of any sort of Mexican culture? Again, no, I do not. So I can't say like what might be offensive to me if I were Mexican. But there were some things that were like, you could probably clean that up. Like we didn't have to say guacamole. I mean, like
Uh,
the little old
See,
lady who
but I'm
said it was
laughing, so it's
adorable.
funny, you know?
Like the
Yeah.
little old lady who said it was adorable, but also like we probably could have like at least made her try a little bit harder to get guacamole. But yeah,
Nice.
so that was the scandal slash news out of the Great British Baking Show. I watched Halloween Wars episode 3, and I love the themes that they're doing this year because they're doing locations, haunted locations, and this week's episode was Alcatraz, where I have been to. Loved my tour of Alcatraz. Um, I felt a little bit cheated though because they were going into all this like spooky history. I was like, I didn't
Mm.
get that on the tour. Like,
Yeah, what the heck?
yeah, like tell me more about this. So they did like supernatural prison break out of Alcatraz, and
Mm.
there were some pretty good ones. So that was a lot of fun to watch.
I feel like it's a newer thing now when you go if you gone now, I'm sure they offer
Like
the
a haunted
scary
tour.
tour. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's I think it's a little bit newer,
sure.
wasn't so commonplace before.
Yeah, and I mean, gosh, we went right before our wedding, so I mean, 8
Okay.
years ago now. So yeah,
Mm.
I mean, there's probably like a midnight haunted, spooky
Yep.
tour of Alcatraz, which I would totally go to, by the way, because
Yeah.
Alcatraz is spooky, and I can't imagine like at night it doesn't get more intense.
Ashley definitely wants to go. Yeah, she
Yeah,
hasn't been.
yeah,
So
definitely worth it. I really enjoyed that tour. And then I finally, just because it was on, and I was like, oh my god, I haven't watched this in ages. I put it on for some like giggles and background noise. Um, a supernatural movie, I believe from the 90s called The Covenant. And it's about like four boys from Salem who are like the descendants of witch families, and like they're about to ascend into their powers, but it's like dangerous and scary, and they have to like fight like the long lost guy who comes back and is like, I'm the fifth family and I'm gonna kill you all. Take all your powers. And it's basically just like a bunch of good looking guys like running around using their powers on each other, and then also swimming. Also swimming
Mm.
because you gotta have that gratuitous, like, skin shot.
This is like
But
free, but with powers. The
yes,
animation.
and Sebastian Stan is in it, Chase Crawford, and Taylor Kitsch, I
Okay.
think, are the
I know a
3.
couple of those.
Yeah, 3 of the 5 are, like, decent, like, you'd recognize them.
Well known, yeah.
Um, Winter Soldier's in it, hilarious, like, how far his career has come. And then the other 2, I don't know that they're anybody notable now, so
Okay,
but yeah, it's
cool.
it's a it's a
But
fun.
still lots of fun?
Yeah, it's a fun flick. Like, you have to, like, suspend your disbelief and, like, just go with, like, how 90s it is, but it's a good time.
Right. Cool. Um, Ashley's watching something that's a throwback now while
Oh,
I'm gone
yeah.
a bunch. She
What
started
she got?
True Blood over.
Nice. Oh, I forgot early True Blood is so good, and then it
I
just, like, falls on its face.
I saw a little bit and I'm like, "Oh my god." It was coming off to me as kinda cheesy, and I
Mhm.
suppose because I didn't start from the beginning, I'm just walking in on a scene, or whatever,
Sure.
but
Were you walking on, like,
but, uh
episode or, no, sorry, not episode, but season 1 still? Or
no,
was it
it's
just
in
you?
season 2, I think, already now. So I literally just saw as I was eating dinner, the God told me to do this. God
Yeah.
wants this, Jason.
Yes. Oh my god. Oh,
uh
I forgot about that. That part of the series is, like, it's weird but good, but then, like, season 2 is so much fun with, like, the
yeah.
Maenad running all over town, and yeah.
I just was excited because a woman for Battlestar Galactica was in there, so I thought, "Oh, that's cool."
Oh,
But
right, yeah.
so I am. But
Yeah.
anyways, I
Fun to
will
see
be
where, like, people
seeing
pop up.
yeah, I will be intermittently seeing parts of that as she watches through it. I wonder how far she'll go or where she'll stop, or if she'll go all the way through this time. So,
Props to
yeah,
her if she can. It's tough.
yeah. Mhm. Um, Other horror related things. We did watch the first episode of Dahmer.
How's that?
Everybody's been talking about that on Netflix,
Yeah.
and it was good. Yeah, I mean, it's just the first episode, but it's very well done. It's shot well, acted very well. It looks good. I'm interested to see how they compose the rest of the season.
Mhm.
I won't give any spoilers, but just the way that the first episode starts, I'm like, oh, okay, you're clearly going to do this in a, I don't know, non-linear fashion or
Mm,
something,
sure.
Um, but yeah, it's very promising. So I think some people are taking it a little too like documentary, like this is
Oh,
documentary.
sure.
It's not, is drama dramatization based on Jeffrey
Right.
Dahmer, obviously, but because immediately I recognize some things like that's not how that happened, but nonetheless, it's good and entertaining and stuff. So hoping to find time to keep going on that. And
Awesome.
then I managed to watch one episode. So I was watching the YouTube show Weebs and Waifus, and someone in the chat recommended the host that they watched the show 86, and they
Okay.
really liked it a lot. And so I gave the first episode of that a shot. And I would say that also, based on the first episode, is very promising. It's like in sometime or future or world or whatever, I don't really know yet, where everybody has got like silver hair, and they have made these big strides in technology where they're in some sort of war, but they're claiming, hey, no casualties in war because we have these amazing like drones to
Mm.
fight our war for us, so there's no people involved. Well,
On
this is
both
just the first
sides or just
episode.
this one side?
As far as I know, the I don't know if they've mentioned the other side. As far as I know, the one side, this has been the case.
Okay, because I was gonna say that
I
would be a very weird war, like no casualties on either side. What do you even do? How are you even
Yeah,
affected?
or deplete the other of resources.
Yeah,
You
yeah, I
still take
guess.
over land, because it'll be that way eventually. I would imagine, just
Sure, yeah. Just
robots
it's an
fighting.
odd concept.
hmm
Yeah.
But the reality is these drones actually are piloted by people, but these are basically banished people from society. They're not born with the silver hair or something like that.
Oh, so like
And
outsider-y type, like,
yeah, and
aberrations.
the authorities that be, they would put out the numbers, and so it's unclear to me yet. And maybe this is it's unclear to me yet if the general citizenship understands that there are casualties. They just don't see these people as human, so it
Sure.
doesn't count. Or if that's the way the authorities are seeing it, and they're not telling the rest of the population.
Got it,
I'm not
got it.
quite sure yet. But the first episode was very dramatic. It looked really good. Yeah. So I would like to continue that as well. But
Cool. It sounds
yeah.
interesting.
Um, that's our weeks. We just have two news stories before we get to the central topic. The first one, I don't know if there's much to say about it, but I just thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
I guess Christian Bale did a little interview with GQ, and he said that he only gets roles that Leonardo DiCaprio has passed on.
I it's hard to tell, like, sometimes I feel like he's trying to be funny and, like, have a sense of humor about it, and then, like,
Mhm.
some parts are like, "Maybe he's more serious about this?" Like, I don't know, I was reading, like, snippets of the interview, and I was just like, "God, I can't tell." Um,
Sure.
Whether serious or joking, like, I don't know, it feels like a plausible thing to say. Like, he picked the right person that, like, I would be like, "Sure, sure." Like, the amount of, like, roles that I feel like Leo has been offered and, like, turned down because he likes to do what he likes to do at this point, like, I could feel it.
Hmm. Yeah. See, I just imagine like Christian Bale can be really picky too, or whatever. But if he's always getting the second shot at it, um,
I feel like he would be comfortable in a second shot kind of place.
okay,
Do you know what I mean? Like, I still feel like he'd
sure.
be picky about what he wants to do and, like, take on roles that are interesting to him or like offbeat or like he really has to stretch himself physically and emotionally and mentally for. But if he like got that because Leo passed on it, I just feel like he's the kind of guy who'd be like, "So what? Like I
Sure.
still want to do it, so good for me."
Well, only one of the two was Batman, so that's
True.
something. That counts for something. I always thought of
And
Christian Bale as a better actor, but maybe people prefer working with Leo, and he
could
knows
be.
the know, who to know better or something like that. Because
I feel like they both have really I mean, I feel like Christian Bale is more consistent, but they both have some really amazing scenes. Like I really feel like Leo was overlooked for the work that he did in Django Unchained. Like
sure.
his like plantation owner portrayal, I think something Candy. I can't remember the first name of his character, but oh my god. Like it was amazingly good. So I feel like he does have like these standout just like holy shit moments, but he's just not as like I don't know, to me solidly consistent in when I think great actor.
Sure. Alan says Kelvin Candy.
Kelvin Candy. Okay. Yeah, I could not remember the first name of the
I
character.
very much appreciate that role for the memes.
Yeah.
Because I've seen that used a lot
Yeah.
for all sorts of various things, so I very
The
much appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah. You
Yes.
know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. It's versatile,
It
so
is.
yes.
It is versatile. But I mean, it is really genuinely to me a really wonderful performance. I mean, just like passion, dedication, just like in the momentness that he achieved. I know some
Yeah.
of it was just like off script and, they just went with it. And to me,
Mhm.
that's like the hallmark of a great actor. You like take a weird moment and you make it amazing.
Yeah. Well,
So
and I know it's more mild or whatever, but I really actually
yeah,
appreciated his role in the, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I did too.
I actually thought he did really well in there, so
Yeah. I was worried it was gonna be some sort of like vanity thing. And I think
Mm,
the movie could be seen that way, like as a whole, but I don't feel like his performance was just like a vanity role. Do you know what I mean? Like there was some
sure.
genuinely good acting happening there and some good chemistry between himself and Brad Pitt.
Is Leonardo DiCaprio still attractive? Is he still a catch?
He is still attractive. I
Just
never
not a hunk
no,
hottie?
not like a total hottie. Which is funny because like I've noticed that like I tend to be very loyal to like people I consider hotties from like teenage,
From the 90s, yeah.
early, yeah, all the way on up. I don't think I was ever really part of the Leo craze. Like I thought he was really
Okay.
cute, but he just
Sure.
like wasn't like my guy.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
So I still feel the same way, I think. Like he's attractive, but like it's okay.
Okay.
I'd probably
Alright.
date him, but like wouldn't seek him
Well,
out.
I mean, clearly he's got the pull. He's always dating
Right.
the next younger
I'm
thing for
like
sure. I
way
mean,
beyond his age bracket, so I don't have to worry about
yeah.
that. Besides, all the other logistics of like him knowing about my existence and whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mhm, mhm, mhm. So that was interesting. The other thing blowing up the internet this week
Ugh.
is the Mario movie trailer. So Nintendo had a direct this last week, and it was just to focus on the upcoming Mario movie. The movie is stacked with big names. It's been
Mhm.
in some form of pre-production, production, development for many years, and we now have a trailer for it.
Ugh, okay. I feel like it was all going so well, and then we met our main character.
Yeah,
I mean, I thought it was great. It was like really it was a weird unusual way to like introduce this trailer. I was like, what is happening? Like why is there like a Bowser like lava ship like coming
yeah,
in? You know what I mean?
makes
Like I
sense.
just
It's
like
like coming.
didn't quite know what it was all like trying to set up, like who's here. I was very interested. Like, who are they attacking? They're attacking a castle. Oh, but it's a castle full of penguins. Like, you
Yeah.
know. So it was
Mhm.
all really fun. And then, yeah, Mario came in with his non-Mario voice, and I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
Okay. It's
Ugh.
does it ruin the potential of the movie for you? Like it's
Yes.
that is it that much? It does. Okay.
Yes. Because in the exactly 2 seconds that Luigi was on screen and had 2 things to say, which were and "oh," he sounded more Italian than Mario did saying, like, 5 sentences.
I honestly don't remember Luigi saying
Yeah,
anything or
he
being
like,
there. Okay.
he literally is like, "Ah, ooh," like, just
Right.
does, like, a little, and I was like, "Really? Like, Luigi's gonna be maybe, like, full on accented Italian,
Yeah.
and Mario's just gonna be, like, Chris Pratt doing something, like, a shade different to his voice?"
Well, my fear is that people are worried. They were worried that if they did the typical voice, they'd get cries of like, "Oh, that's not how Italians talk," or blah blah blah, or something.
So,
And I'm
like, do an
like,
Italian accent. I mean, you don't have to make it a cartoon, but at least you could be like, "Trying."
I would have rather just had the Mario voice. Almost anyone can do it. It's not difficult to do.
Right,
And like everybody knows it. It's just
right.
it's
Well,
so
it's almost
goes with the
separate.
character.
Yeah, it's almost separate from I mean, to me, could be offending somebody or could be, wildly disagreed with, obviously, but to me, it doesn't represent, like, an Italian accent that people think is believable or real
No.
or, like, set in any, like, "Oh, obviously it's, native to this region of Italy." Like, no, I don't think
Yeah.
so.
It's
It
it's
it
it's
feels
the
separate,
Italian
it just
accent of
feels
Mushroom Kingdom or
right,
something, it's like
yeah, it does feel just like this is Mario.
yeah. Yeah, it's distinctly Mario and the Italian aspect of it I think has been long largely dismissed,
Right, right,
since
that this is,
the
like,
graphics got
Italian, yeah.
better and the voices came in and all this stuff, it's just like so, for me, I am I'm excited for this movie. I mean, I have nothing to go on but this trailer, and when I first started, I'm like, "This is what Nintendo games could look like if we wanted." Because, it was like when people take a game and they kinda remake parts of it in Unreal Engine 5 or whatever, and
Right.
it's like, "Wow, it's so gorgeous with the ray tracing and stuff." So, I had that element. It's like, I've never seen Mario stuff looking this good, that's cool. I
Yeah, it
love the
looked amazing.
penguins from Nintendo 64 Mario, and here they are and stuff, and
Oh, it was
I thought that
adorable.
was cute and well done. Um, so I like all of it. I don't like the accent, but it's not a deal breaker for me. I really wish they would have just gone with the stereotypical, "This is what I'm familiar with" for Mario.
Mhm.
Um, maybe there'll be
It's just
enough I'll cry they redo it, I don't know. It's
yeah.
like, yeah, I don't know, but
I mean, maybe I
for
have
me,
to
if that's all and the rest of it's great, I'm okay.
sure. For me, I mean, maybe I could, like, hear a little bit more of it because right now it's just so, like, this is Chris Pratt just doing something, like I said, just, like, a little bit different to his voice, but I know it's Chris Pratt. So it's like, I don't know, it's very grating to me to just, like, know that that's just him talking.
I
So
think the biggest
maybe I have to see if I can get over it if like, you know what I mean? If,
Sure.
like, they do a whole, like,
Mhm.
scene and maybe I can live with it, or if it's just like, "No, this is gonna continue to eat at me."
Right. For me, if it would be if there was no comment previously that this accent is gonna be unlike anything you've heard before, I think that kinda set it up for me like, well, what is this accent going to be then? What is this
Mhm.
voice that you're gonna be putting on? It's like and then I listened to it, it's like, that's like Chris Pratt with maybe a little bit of East Coast in there somewhere.
Right.
You know?
Just a
So,
little hair of something different. I can't even tell what
yeah,
it is. Yeah, so if Mario was just gonna talk, I almost wish they would just gotten some, like, rando nobody who I don't know. So I don't have to,
sure.
like, listen to Chris Pratt.
Just have I mean, I don't know how dramatic it's gonna get and how demanding of a role it will be, but
Mhm.
just their regular voice actor for Mario is good too to me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know, but We shall see. I'm still excited. I hope it's good. Hope it's good.
Yeah, I mean,
I
good
think
luck.
Jack.
Like, the rest of it looks fun, like a total trip and well written, and I mean, in the 2 seconds we get of the trailer, like,
Yeah,
it's a cute little scene, and it's fun to
yeah.
set up. But yeah, that does bother me for sure.
Well, it's been setting the internet ablaze.
Ablaze!
Yep. Speaking of things on the internet, maybe meant to be
Maybe
webtoon.
meant to be, okay.
Yeah, that was the worst transition I think I've ever attempted there. Um, but we're gonna talk about yeah, webtoons.
Mhm,
Well, this webtoon maybe meant to be. It's kind of a romantic comedy thing. We're on episodes 25 through 27.
mhm.
So yeah. What'd you think about these three?
These were good. I was kind of frustrated starting out because I thought like here was like a chance for character growth and our main character wasn't going to take it. And then she did by like little baby steps across these 3 episodes. So I was very
Mhm.
happy that there was a lot of like reflection, introspection, like why do I think like why is this happening to me? What is my physical body reaction saying about how I feel right now? So I really appreciated that like finally we were getting a moment. Like it doesn't have to be like a great revelation. It doesn't have to be like everything's different from here, but we'd been wanting character progress and finally we got it. So, thank you, authors.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanna know, like, more about the creators of this,
Mhm.
manhwa, and there's normally, like, a link to a social media page or something like that, and there's just
Right.
nothing, I don't think, for neither the author nor the artist,
Mhm.
which is too bad, but, you were definitely right about, Minchol not kissing Gia, but
Yes.
what a fun twist,
But
again,
yes,
like
but wrong about there not being a kiss at all.
yes, right.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I loved this. Like, it was very fun. It was a
mhm.
fun way to, introduce a kiss and well, there you go. And have both our characters kind of be like, "What?"
Yep, yep.
So
So then sitting, yeah, it was a good way to we obviously see the perspective of Gia more, so we're getting a lot of
mhm.
her, like you said, like questioning herself and what's happening
Yeah.
here and
Her
whatever.
inner monologue
But
for sure.
yeah, but then we also get a few moments with Minchol as well, and so
Yes.
that's been nice. Nice. We
Yes.
have him going to work, and his socks are mixed up,
Mhm.
and he's like, leaning over the sink, splashing water on his face. So he's
Yes.
clearly affected by this as
Flustered.
well.
Yes.
But Gia has no idea.
Mhm.
He's managing to not show this to her, and
Mhm.
so that's been a little frustrating for her or whatever. But I mean, I don't know if these guys just talked, that would help, but,
Right. I love how one of, like, the tenants in their marriage is like, "We have to talk about stuff," and they're like, "Except when it, like, really matters, because then I don't wanna talk about it. I'll just, like,
Yeah.
make some guesses internally and presume the other one isn't even thinking about it."
Yep. I love these moments when Gia sees Minchol differently.
Yes.
I I love it,
Without
and
glasses or, like, behind the reflection
usually
of his glasses.
yep. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, I love that that's really smart of the authors, especially the, like because his glasses are normally so reflective that then when they, like, turn clear like, here, they're non-reflect or, yeah, no, they're reflective, so you can't see what, like, his eyes are doing, and you can't, like,
Mhm.
read that expression as well, but then when
Yep.
they really want you to, like, get some clarity, like, his glasses suddenly turn transparent, and you can see right through, and I love
Yeah.
that.
And I brought it up way back when we started this, but I still really like the effective use of the silly art to the
Yes.
serious. Like
Yes.
when you have these moments right here, if you're watching, where it's like a little more detail or, you're getting the beauty
Yep.
glow on something. But then in a silly moment, like the facial expression will be completely cartoony and
Yes.
ridiculous. And
Yes.
like it helps shift you in understanding how you should view a situation and feel about something as well. you know immediately if something's to be taken seriously or not.
Right.
And it's just a great thing about art and the way that manga and manhwa is done
Mhm.
to emphasize emotion. So
Mhm.
I think it's done very well here.
Yes, I agree.
Let's see. So then, yeah, they're trying to get back to the normal routine of things, going back to the gym
Yes.
once again. And we have a more, so Gia's already
What
dealing with, she
w
can't take it right now on certain parts. Like, what is my heart doing?
Yes. We have to talk about before though. Jeez, what's wrong with my heart? I love it. We have to talk about before though, her like I heard somewhere in like a quiz or a magazine that like if the way that someone eats is okay with you, it means you like them.
Yeah, yeah,
What kind of
yeah.
a bar is this? Like is this
Hey, Andrea,
legit?
you should understand, right?
What do you mean?
You don't
Oh,
like how
yes.
people
That's very
so
true. That's very true. Um, so yeah, so I am definitely a person who would like be bothered by somebody eating terribly.
mhm, mhm.
Because yeah, I have what is it? Misophonia. Especially when I can hear people chew or like
Okay.
the way that people eat with like their mouth open like sends me into a rage, like a literal actual rage. It's so stupid. I hate it. Um
Well,
but normally, like 95% of the time, I can tune that out for Chris, and, like, it's, like, whatever, and he's adorable, and he can eat, and it's fine. But, like, probably not with, like, almonds or, like, baby carrots. Like, that's
sure.
oof. Even he even he can't tolerate it.
I I was probably rude at some points to Ashley because I'm like, really? Like, that's how you're gonna consume this? Um, I know I was definitely rude at some points, but
Sure.
it just everybody gets used to their certain things, yeah, I
Yeah.
guess, whatever. And so yeah. But I'm kind of with you. Like little things bother me sometimes with like something in the car that rattles or whatever, and so that kind of thing goes along with the chewing or something. If
Mhm.
someone's chewing with their mouth open, you better have a really bad cold. Like if you're
Right.
really stuffed up and you can't breathe, all right.
Right.
Otherwise,
Pass, yeah, but otherwise, yeah, that ugh,
yeah.
ugh, I hate it. I'm sure there are, like, certain countries or, like, places where that's, like, not a thing that would just, like, drive me absolutely insane.
Well, it's like you're supposed to, if you enjoy them, slurp your noodles in
Right.
Japan. The sound is not only the way you slurp is like cooling it as you bring it in your
Mhm.
mouth, but also I don't like doing that. It's messy. I inhale too much air while I'm eating. I
Yeah.
don't prefer. It's like the eating thing of Japan etiquette that I don't like. So
Sure, sure.
yeah, but well, anyways, yes.
Yeah,
I forgot about that part, but yes, I thought
I
that
thought it was
was
very
funny.
funny, and to be 100% honest, if we're judging Minchiel, he gets a 0, man. He gets a not attractive for slurping down that chicken breast smoothie.
Mhm.
Ugh. And I do love
Yep.
how she's like, "I don't know if I can really tell by this because he's, like, slurping his food, but I thought he was okay
Mhm.
when we were eating dinner. Oh, shit, maybe it was just because I was drinking." Like,
Yeah. Yep.
yeah,
Yeah, she did you know, try to use the drinking as rationalizing some of this as
yeah.
well, her actions and stuff too. So, but I
Yeah,
feel like
which
she kind of got over that.
yeah, that I was just gonna say, like, I get that, like, normal people are like, "Well, maybe it's this thing," and, you do try to rationalize, but I was like, "Oh, thank God we're not gonna, like, actually just rationalize the whole thing.
Yeah.
We're still gonna think about it."
Because
Which
that could
then,
have
like
been the thing, like, she would have done before, "Oh, ha, ha, laugh it off, I was just drunk," kind of
right,
thing.
exactly, and then she
So,
doesn't even have to think about it to herself. But yeah, then
yep.
we, like, moved on to this, like, next gym scene where she was
Mhm,
clearly like, "Oh, no, like, I do have to still think about this because I'm still having reactions and I'm not drunk."
mhm, and
So
again, now the perfect use of the webtoon format, because
Mhm.
I was thinking to myself, I'd love to buy this in print. I just want to buy it in print.
Sure.
But it will change the way some of this is. Like, so when we have she's on the bench and he's spotting her, the long
Mhm.
vertical down,
Panels,
as their
yeah.
eyes meet, but it's opposite, was really good. And
Yes.
then she gets flustered because like crotch is right there. I
Yep.
can't handle this position or whatever she says.
Ugh. I
So
mean, she did the most reps she's probably ever gonna do in her
yeah,
life. She's just, like,
right.
pumping it
I
out
thought that
like
was
her
good
heart's
for
pumping faster, you know?
just
It's a
starting.
Yeah, it's a motivational technique apparently.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'll try that. Um, well, I think that's probably it. Nothing too like crazy. I just like where this is going. This
Me
has
too.
been like maybe it sounds silly, but this has been my favorite comic book that I've read in a while. Like I've
Okay.
been reading a lot or whatever, but it's very addictive. I'm a fan of the art. The story keeps me interested, and yeah, there's not too many things that I just want to keep reading for sure.
Sure.
And this is just very well done. So
Yeah,
I'm
I
excited.
I really like this as well, and as a person who is trying to branch out in the webtoon verse, I've been very pleasantly surprised by this. It's one that I'm not just like, cool, I can like read my one every week and I'm good. I really do like find myself looking forward to like, "Ah, yeah, I gotta get those like extra couple episodes. I'm really excited to like spend that money, spend those coins to find out what happens. Um,
Yep.
so yeah, and like I said, these three episodes were really nice because there were finally some moments of, moving forward in relationship and understanding their feelings. So
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. All right. That is maybe meant to be 25 through 27. Hopefully next week we're been a little off on schedule. We're talking about soul leveling still, so maybe we'll get to that one. But
I
yeah, we're gonna keep
did
going. So
I did read the next 5 for that, and that also moved the story nicely.
okay,
I didn't feel like these next 5 were terribly filler like I felt about some, so
nice,
I was pleasantly surprised. Just
cool.
saying that.
Yeah, well, I'll look forward to it, and I hope you all look forward to it as well. That has been our extra short episode of Popcast on the Rocks.
Mhm.
Episode Ichi Nisan. And I how many languages do I need to say it in? Well, I mean, we'll say it in a lot. We'll say it in more if we need to. Um, but yep. Uno, dos, tres.
Eins,
Or
zwei,
if we count
drei.
like Bono, right? Ons, dos, catorce, or what does
Yeah,
Bono say? In
like
once,
un, dos, tres, catorce?
yeah, something like
Or
that.
is it uno, dos, tres, catorce?
I like, is there a meaning behind that I'm missing or
I
something?
I have no idea.
Or is it okay,
It's
all
one,
right.
2, 3, 14. I don't
On a
know.
dual set. All right, there we go. We're gonna,
Eins, zwei, drei.
all right. We've got like 5 languages on this show. We're so multilingual. Um, anyways, follow us on the social things,
Mhm.
Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube, wherever. Please share, leave a review where you can, especially on like a podcast directory like Apple Podcasts. It'd be appreciated. Thumbs up videos, all that sort of thing. Um, and follow along. Look at the thing. You can look at our back episodes. We've covered a lot of things. We've reviewed a lot of Westworld and Doom Patrol and a lot of different stuff.
Boys.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, look through those. If you've watched them, maybe want a little more conversation, leave a comment. We'll go back to it as well and, you know, have a talk. So, anyways, that's that. Killing the Flower, they wrote our theme song. You should check them out on Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify. And with that, Andrea, thanks for joining me once again.
Of course. As always, cheers, everybody.
Fish guy, fish guy.